I watched Never Far Away, and I want to tell you if that movie is worth your data. Let's get it. This movie is one of those Nollywood movies that you just know is going to have a little bit of quality here and there. It's made up of talented actors like Teniola, Aladese. Really don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm so sorry, madam, if I mispronounced your name. Taye, Arimoro, Wendy, Lawal, and Gabriel, Afolayan. Now, I know I murdered some of their names, but just permit me. All I'm trying to say is that these guys are definitely decent actors in Nollywood. I knew that there was gonna be no issues from the acting. This movie is about two embittered exes who must work together to save their close friends. It's as simple as that. A former couple must come together to save their friends from divorce. It's a romantic movie. What do you think is gonna happen? Obviously, the two exes are going to figure out that they love each other eventually. Yeah. As someone who actually loves movies that shock you and take you out of your comfort zone, even with the story, I can tell you for a fact that this story is not exactly the most interesting that you would ever see. However, it does not mean that it must be poorly done. And that's exactly why this movie is actually very, very, very decent. This movie was actually a masterpiece when it comes to good screenwriting, meeting good execution and good cinematography. If you're a story enthusiast or just a filmmaker who wants to improve in their screenwriting, this movie follows the 3-act structure to a T. In case you guys don't know, I'm actually a trained film director. I can tell you for a fact that the screenwriter in this movie was excellent from the beginning to the end. We all saw the conflict in the movie, and they even went on to give us a first climax in the movie that led to 2 forms of resolution. Yes, the movie was a complete movie. The movie was directed by Debola Santa, and the DOP was Bolaji Opakunbi. Like I said, it's really hard to pronounce these guys' names. I'm sorry. But by now, if you know me, you know that when I call the directors and the DOPs, it just means I want to give them their props. This movie was well directed. The pacing of the movie was actually very good. They paced this movie properly. You were able to follow through, and you just had a sense of time. But I have to give major props to the screenwriter, Tomilola Adeyemo. I'm telling you, she's a fantastic screenwriter, and this movie just had quality all around. This movie is supposed to be a masterpiece, but Nollywood has a way of just making the movie not perfect in some way. And what is this way? There are 2 major scenes in this movie that needed the best form of soundtrack. Yes, sound scoring. And these guys played the most generic music. For example, there is this emotional scene when Teniola, the actress, is doing an amazing job delivering her lines and talking to the man that she loves. And the soundtrack that they play here is extremely generic. It just takes you out of the moment, and it just makes you feel like what she's saying doesn't really make any sense. And the worst one was at the ending of the movie. They started playing this villain soundtrack. This is the soundtrack that you play when Undertaker wants to fight Randy Orton or something. It was just very annoying how they ruined this very beautiful scene. These actors did a very great job in these scenes, and I felt that they just deserved better. This movie has very little wrong with it, and I can't say that about most Nigerian films on YouTube, right? So anyways, I'll give the Nielsen score of 7/10. Those soundtracks, I don't know, but it is definitely worth your data. See you in the next one.